So I'm gonna read the Vogue magazine today. I'm reading this article, Stand Tall. This says modern life doesn't exactly encourage an upright perspective. Good posture, however, has the ability to change not just our stance but our entire outlook. Thessaly La Force takes notes, photograph by Jack Davison. If youth is wasted on the young, then height is wasted on the young and tall. I can recall with total clarity my disappointment in my sixth grade class portrait. I had experienced a growth spurt that summer. I had always been tall, but now the fact of my height was unavoidable, a topic among relatives, teachers, even strangers at the grocery store. I had picked out my outfit that day with care, but the school photographer assigned me to the back row next to the tallest boy in the class. Such cruel fate. From then on, I had only contempt for my height. My solution was to hunch to save even just a few inches from my stature. I would sing to my classes with my shoulders rounded forward and my head down. Later, I spoke to boys with my body awkwardly tilted against a wall or preferably sitting down. This was late 90s in North California. There was no department classes, no one telling me to stand as my mother's generation did with my shoulders back and chest out. If anything, the pervasive look and feel of grunge. Imagine you wearing a beautiful necklace. Wouldn't you want it to glitter in the light? Asked one of my oldest friends. The laid back cool of California's surf and skate culture only further reinforced my decision to slouch. There was a rebellion and slouching and insouciance to bad postures that left in tune with a bleached out tomboy's femininity of the world around me. Eventually, I grew out of it. I discovered that my height was something of an asset. I started a career, got married, had kids. Motherhood finally allowed me to feel a purpose with my physical self that wasn't tied to vanity. The only problem was that I had completely obliterated my posture. Years of rounded shoulders had taken its toll. Two pregnancies had stretched out my core. The decades spent working in front of computer hadn't helped either. I wanted to investigate what it would take to course correct. After all, there are benefits to standing straighter. Studies points out that people with clinical depression tend to hunch more than those who don't. Another shows those who slouched walking down a hallway had less energy throughout the day than those who skipped, presumably with a straighter spine. Besides, I had reason to be optimistic. Even the most dramatic habits can be broken with a reasonable plan of action, says Amir Vogue, a Los Angeles-based neurosurgeon who specializes in spine surgery. Imagine you're wearing a beautiful necklace. Wouldn't you want it to glitter in the light? Asked one of my oldest friends, Adrian Danching Waring, who is a principal dancer at the New York City Ballet. We're standing on the top floor of Whitney Museum, meaning to look at art, but instead attempting a small lesson in art of standing well. He turns his perfectly straight spine to the left and to the right. Continued on page 106. Now let's find 106. This is 103. Here, stand tall. And I attempted to mimic him, though on Adrian I can envision stunning jewels on his décolletage while I move like the inflatable man at a car dealership sale. It's old fashioned advice, but picture a string lifting you up from the ceiling, says Randy Jaffe, a New York City based chiropractor. She explained to me that much of modern life contributes to poor posture, sitting for long periods, carrying heavy backpacks or handbags. It's even worse for mothers like myself who are breastfeeding, picking up small children, and pushing a stroller. Now, of course, the phone is the worst culprit, she adds. I stare guilty at mine. The human head weighs on average about 10 to 12 pounds. When we bend our neck forward just 60 degrees, the stress on our neck increases at some 60 pounds. Many of us are increasingly working from home, which is also having a devastating effect on posture. Even the way we sleep, she tells me, can make a difference. On your belly is the worst. She recommends a Dosage pillow made of foam, memory foam that slopes down on one side and encourages correct alignment as you slumber. Jaffe stretches my back on her table, a process that involves pulling my legs down and away from my shoulders and make a few slight adjustments to my sacrum. Afterward, I asked Jaffe to assess my posture. Not too bad, she says politely, gently pulling my shoulders back. Then she assigns me homework to look at the posture of other New Yorkers around me. Seeing bad posture might make me correct mine. After all, awareness is the key to fixing a nasty slouch. Clothing or accessories that make the shoulders and scapula, our wings, closer to each other are very helpful. Advices Vokasor, which is how I find myself wearing a posture corrector called the back embrace. Vaguely bondage looking elastic strap things that you hook around your shoulders and velcro across your torso. That's weirdly kinky, offered as a friend when I reveal it to her. Still, I find it remarkably effective. It is actually quite easy to wear underneath a shirt or a dress, and it helps to pull my shoulders back. It presents reminding me to do so whenever they round down again. A number of posture correctors exist on the market these days, from little widgets like upright go to, which you can directly affix between shoulder blades and comes with an app, to more rigorous athleisure item like the form power bra, whose patented fabric designed by an orthopedic surgeon helps pull your body into correct alignment. Wearing posture supporters is a good way to help the body hold itself into the desired position, says Donnie Olson, a Los Angeles based chiropractor. But my real problem, as Lisa Bartha, the creator of B method, knows, starts deeper with both my core and my pelvic floor. Bartha is a classically trained Pilates instructor who launched her own methodology 5 years ago, focusing on using a small balance ball and a mat instead of your traditional reformer. A former dancer with scoliosis, Bertha turned to Pilates after she found herself unhappy and uncomfortable in her corporate desk job. She thinks it's helpful to remember that good posture comes from more than just shoulders. Don't feel yourself just lifting from your ribs, she tells me. Think of as though you're lifting from the pelvic floor, which is the hammock of muscles around your hips. When you feel a little bit supported in the hips, it is much more powerful. I confessed to her that after 2 kids, my core felt like wet noodle. But Bartha was encouraging, suggesting that with consistency I would eventually see results. Indeed, after a few weeks of doing her workouts, some of which are specifically designed for posture, others for what she calls length and reach, I feel less sore pulling back my shoulders and more inclined to use my lower abdominal muscles to hold my whole body upright instead. Flexibility is the important too. I also meet up with New York City based yoga instructor Ashley Dorr, a Soak, a yoga studio in Chelsea. Door guides me through a flow designed to open the chest, gently twist my spine, and relax my glutes. Poses like baby cobra, upward dog, fish pose, tree pose, and triangle pose all are great, she said. She gently massages my neck as I release my head into a forward fold, and I feel the weight of my head momentarily vanish. But the real benefit of yoga is the way it connects the mind with the body. Dora explains. We may enter a room standing as straight as possible, but in an instant we can forget and revert back to what we feel most comfortable or most ingrained. We end in Savasana, where Door tucks my shoulder blades under me and tells me to simply experience the sensation of my spine lying flat against the ground. Most everyone I speak to is keen to remind me that no two spines are alike. Some simply curves more than others. At the museum, I watch my friend Adrian, the ballet dancer, move across the gallery floor, his head so perfectly upright that it could have carried a book across the room. In the window, I caught my reflection and paused. I took a breath, pulled back my shoulders, tilted up my chin, and pulled myself up from the pelvic floor. It was a start. Thank you.